Hello and welcome to the Mind Expansion Centre, and this video is going to be about mushrooms and the mushroom art that I've been experimenting with over the years. Not too much recently, but I've got a few extra pieces that I'd like to show you that weren't featured on my old mushroom art documentary that I did way back. It's on my channel somewhere, so if you want to check that out, have a look. And so yeah, I'll start quickly, get you introduced to these mushrooms. This is a Foam cementarius bracket fungus. They're all bracket fungus that I paint on because they grow out of the side of trees, and when you dry them out and you preserve them correctly, keep them away from infections, then they'll dry like wood, they'll be solid, and they'll last for as long as you want to keep them, forever. So yeah, this one, I painted a moonscape on this. I cut it, and grow that straight in the natural world. I cut that, and I painted a moonscape on it. I'm sure this is on my old video, and I weren't happy with how it turned out. It looked a bit simple, and so I had another go. Came back and painted. This is the finished article now. I quite like it now, and this is it. Moonscape, painted with acrylics and varnished over the top, and I painted this with varnish as well. It's not normally a grey colour like that, it's normally like a browny sort of colour, that colour, yeah. So that's that one. This is another one that was also featured on the old video, and there weren't much on the mushroom that I'd painted back then, so I've finished this off. I did do a lot more to it. There was a rock under here, and it was on a wooden disc, and there was also a castle at the top. So the seascape, as I'll show you closely, was featuring these waves were supposed to be coming over the castle at the top, but everything become infected, and I even think this is infected as well. So I might have to throw it away, but I'll let you have a closer look anyway. The light's not very good in here, can't see the details, but anyway, that's that. And this one's actually featured on the front cover of the Mind Expansion Centre channel, and it's an ancient Celtic cauldron motif. So it looks quite naive, but that's how they did their art 3,000, 4,000 years ago. So here we are. This is on a Ganoderma planitum mushroom, an artist conch. And I've etched this out with a Stanley blade, which took a long time, about probably 20 hours work, maybe more. There we go. That's the other side. I rub this with my hand to get that like kind of shiny, waxy sort of look to it, and it makes it look a little bit antique-y. And you can do that with wood furniture as well if you want to make it look a bit aged. Little tip for you. And this was on the old channel as well. It was just a plain mushroom then, but I've painted it since. It's quite a big one. It's a right solid lump. This weighs a ton. And that's just basically ready for me to paint wherever I want on the surface. I still haven't made my mind up. This is like 2 or 3 years on, but it's there when I want to do something with it. And this one's even bigger, Ganoderma planitum again, artist conch, and I varnished this one on the surface as well. That's why it looks a bit shiny. Quite a psychedelic look to it, isn't it? And that's the surface that I'll be using for whatever I want to paint on there. So that's that one. And just a few examples of other kinds of bracket fungus that I've got. This one's a willow bracket that I found not too long back. And I'm quite excited that I found this, because in Britain they're quite rare, especially this far north, up in Nottinghamshire. So to get one that perfect was quite a delight, I must say. And it's the typical looking willow bracket, got the moss on top and the cracks. So yeah, I'm going to preserve that, and I'm going to, I don't know, that'll make some start on it. And these are Piptoporus betulinus, razor strop fungus. I've got these quite young off the tree. They do get a lot bigger than that. The spores haven't developed properly, but they dry solid as a rock. Lovely things. Light as a feather as well. And I think Mr. Birchbracket might get some new lips, if you know who he is, or I could paint them. Whatever I want to do. And that's a maize gill. And the spore surface is quite detailed. Where is it? Now, if that comes across well on camera, it's like a maze network. Anyway, and that one is a piece of chaga that I found, which is quite rare in Britain. That's the other side, look. So yeah, that's it with my mushroom stuff. I could show you around a little bit around the Mind Expansion Centre for anybody that gives a damn. So yeah, here we are then. Where to start? That's a Foams Fermentarius that I've mounted on birch bark, fancy frame. Holographic carb sale for next to note. And this is off an ancient not plum tree, an ancient pear tree. Apparently pear trees only grow to 50 years old, die at that age, round about that age. But this just said it's ancient. It's got a fence around it. It looks old as well. Looks black and withered and a bit spooky. But yeah, I found this dead log at the bottom, and I just like its shape. It's like I love all this gnarled effect here. It's hollow. Look all the way through it. It's like, looks like flames, doesn't it? So I'm going to do something with it. I've sanded it down, soaked it in bleach for about 3 days to kill everything that were living in it, all the woodworm or whatever else. Scraped all the hard wood off, all the dead wood, and yeah, it's ready for me now to do whatever I want to do with it. Yeah, here we go. Up here we've got the Technicoloured Dream Goat that I painted, goat skull. I like that. And just a few other bits and bobs. My fungus mirror with the multicoloured fungus around the edges. Oh, I made these as well. I've lost 2 of them. I made 3 altogether. They're made out of mushrooms. Even the mushrooms on the top are made out of the mushroom that is actually on the bottom. I wet it, dried it, rolled it out and shaped them. And that's about it. Bar area. A fungus man living on the wall. Yeah, that's it.